There's a new way to win in Vintage, that's right. Black Lotus Ancestral Recall Geralf the Fleshwright. It's the new blue Monastery Mentor. Let's go see it in action. The new blue Monastery Mentor, Geralf the Fleshwright. You heard me correctly. So what exactly is this new card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction? So for 2 and a blue, 3 mana total, you get a legendary creature that's a human warlock that is a 2/3. Not a 2/2, a 2/3. Whenever you cast a spell that isn't your first spell each turn, create a 2/2 zombie token. Okay, that's pretty good in a format with Vintage. You have tons of artifacts to play for free. You get to make a bunch of incremental zombies. I like that. And then for every zombie that enters the battlefield this turn, it gets a +1/+1 counter for each zombie that entered before it. So it's like the prowess of Monastery Mentor tokens where you play spells and they get bigger. Well, these zombies are permanently bigger. You don't have to play spells turn after turn to make them big. It being a 2/3 means it gets to bully things like Collector Oof or Lavinia in combat, doesn't care about Orcish Bowmasters. I really do believe that this is better than Monastery Mentor in Vintage. A Monastery Mentor was restricted. And for a long time, these Paradoxical Outcome decks played white solely for Monastery Mentor. You don't have to do that anymore. This card is the real deal, and I'm really excited to play it today. So I mentioned Paradoxical Outcome. That's the heart and soul of this deck. You pick up things like Mox Pearl, Mox Ruby, or my favorite Legacy Mox, Mox Opal. And from there, you make a bunch of mana, you draw a bunch of cards, you create a bunch of zombies, you cast Time Walk, take an extra turn, and then you attack with those zombies. We also have Tinker into Bolas's Citadel, and then obviously the really powerful combo in Vintage, Time Vault plus Manifold Key to take infinite turns, and then you can win with Construct tokens off of Urza's Saga. So that is how this deck functions. If you're interested in more, make sure to watch the gameplay, but that's my short and sweet deck tech. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below, and I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We have won the die roll. Our opponent reveals a Lurrus of the Dream Den. We're going to keep this. This hand's pretty good. Start off on a Mox Ruby because we don't want them to force a will our Mox when we're going to play Urza's Saga. So we want to play the Mox first, and now we need to hope that our opponent on the Lurrus of the Dream Den control deck doesn't have a Wasteland or Strip Mine. Looted Delta, okay. Mox Sapphire. Mox Jet, Explosive Start. Demonic Tutor. Yeah. I mean, it looks like Ancestral Recall is about to happen. I'm sure they'll cast it in our upkeep here. They fetch with the Polluted Delta, surprise, surprise. This was the downside of not leaving open a blue for this Flusterstorm. Yep. That hurts. We draw our own Ancestral. Okay. I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm not going to cast it right now either. I can't protect it with Flusterstorm, and I think right now I just want to focus on Urza's Saga. And I'm actually going to fetch now because if they play a Wasteland, it's bad for me. Because they could Wasteland Urza's Saga in response to my fetch, and then I just get punished. All the mana in the world. Paradoxical Outcome, huh? I guess I'll Flusterstorm. They still have 5 cards in hand. Let's take our draw step and then we'll decide if we want to make a construct or not. Vampiric Tutor. I don't think I do. So we're going to use Urza's Saga here. We'll go get Black Lotus. Misty Rainforest. Select an Underground Sea. Let's make some black mana. We'll cast Vampiric Tutor. We'll put Tinker on top. Ancestral Recall. I'm sure this is going to be countered. Force a Negation. Okay, well that makes my Yawgmoth's plan idea a little bit worse. Maybe I sacrificed the Lotus too soon. Yeah, I was thinking that way. No, it's the only way I could get black, but I guess I could have just tapped Underground Sea and left the Lotus in play. But then I don't have an extra blue. Yeah, I'm just getting punished here. We will pass. That's an Underworld Breach. Demonic Tutor. So this gives and gets Black Lotus. And then if they have Brain Freeze in hand, that's the game. Yep, that'll do. So I guess what it came down to here, even if I had left the Lotus back, I could have played Lorien Revealed, I guess, but I would have needed to draw into a force to stop this. I probably would have lost that anyway, but I should have reconsidered how I spent my mana, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't playing around Force of Negation. Maybe I should have. So we'll bring in our own Force of Negations, the Flusterstorms. We'll take out Dress Down. And I don't think I want anything else out of the sideboard. We'll shave one Geralf here on the play. Okay, we'll keep. I mean, this Tolarian Academy is a little bit sad, but I still think that we're supposed to keep this. We'll lead off on Urza's Saga again and pass the turn. All right, Gitaxian Probe. They know all of my secrets. You have a Mana Vault. Black Lotus. We'll cycle this Lorien Revealed. Go get Underground Sea. I don't think that they're on the control deck, so I'm not going to play around Wasteland. Saga goes to the second chapter. We'll play the Underground Sea. And now we can pass the turn. They put Lurrus to their hand. Lurrus resolves. Black Lotus, they still have 5 cards. Demonic Tutor. In response, I will Ancestral Recall. A Mental Misstep. I will Force of Negation the Misstep. Ancestral. Okay, we drew Tinker. Not going to complain about that. So, I believe we can set up a Tinker with Flusterstorm backup on our turn. Well, they have their own Ancestral. That's probably what they got off the Demonic Tutor. That would make sense. In our upkeep, I will play Mystical Tutor. We will grab Flusterstorm. Tap the Urza's Saga for mana. Go get Black Lotus. Play Mox Ruby. Make some blue. We will cast Tinker. They force a negation. We will Fluster. Tinker is back on the stack. The resolves will grab Bolas's Citadel. And this is the reason I did not play a land right here. Misty Rainforest, Paradoxical Outcome. I'm going to cast it with no targets. I'll pay 4 life. Alright, we'll pay 5 life for a Lorien Revealed. Play Mox Sapphire. I will go to 9 in Gitaxian Probe. They look like they're pretty close to the... They have the win on their turn, actually. We'll play the Mana Vault. And I'll fetch here. I'd rather save this outcome. Geralf. I mean, I can make a bunch of zombies. But I go to 5. So this is going to put me to 1. I could just outcome from hand. Maybe that's better. Alright, outcome for 3. We'll create a zombie. And now we draw 3 cards. Flusterstorm is our top card. We did get a couple cycle effects. That's nice. We'll play Mana Vault. And now we'll shuffle our deck with Lorien Revealed. Pull out a land. Force of Will, a little awkward here. We will shuffle again. Running out of mana and time. I think we just lost. Unfortunate. We had a lot of opportunities to win right there, and our deck kind of just sputtered out. All they have to do is play Black Lotus from Graveyard Underworld Breach. I mean, I can't do anything. I might as well kill myself with Bolas's Citadel. Unfortunate. So we're 0-1 to start off this league. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Let's try to bounce back with the second match. We're on the draw, and obviously I'm going to keep this. Our opponent has revealed a Lurrus of the Dream Den. Mox Emerald. Into Skull Clamp. Okay. There's a Saga. You got it. We find a Mox Pearl. Let's play that out before a possible Lavinia. And we'll pass the turn. They cycle Lorien Revealed. You got it. Sure thing. Dark Confidant. That resolves. Mox Emerald. We'll play Polluted Delta. Let's play the Brainstorm. See if we can find an action spell. Okay, that was pretty good. We'll put back Time Vault and Geralf. Play the Mox Emerald. Mox Opal. And now we'll fetch. Grab Underground Sea. Paradoxical Outcome. We drew another Geralf. And we'll play it. Pass the turn. Dark Confidant reveals Orcish Bowmasters. And now Urza Saga is on the second chapter. I'm sorry, the third chapter. Strip Mine. Okay. They put Lurrus to their hand. I'm going to Force of Will the Lurrus here. They Force Will back. I'm going to Force Will back. No Lurrus for you. They're at a really big advantage having both Dark Confidant and Skull Clamp. I need another Paradoxical Outcome right now. I'll take a Lorien Revealed. Cast it. I'm going to Gitaxian Probe for life. We know that it's the Orcish Bowmasters. And I get to create a zombie token. Love to draw Mox here. Mox does win the game. Because I can Time Walk and then Yawgmoth's will Time Walk. I'll take Ancestral Recall. And we'll cast it. Maybe I'll draw Black Lotus. Let's go. Black Lotus. Ah, they conceded. Alright, well that would have been our draw 3, but we won game number 1. I'll take that. Okay, so we're facing the Lurrus deck. I think boarding out Mystical Tutor's fine. We'll bring in the Flusterstorm. Dress Down's still good against them, so I don't think I want to get rid of those. And I'm not sure it's really... Like, they're a control deck. They're not a combo deck, unlike our previous round opponent. So I don't want the Force of Negations. Like, there's some argument to, like, Needle or... You know, you could swap a Needle with an Opal. That's probably okay enough. We'll try this. They reveal their Lurrus. We will try this hand. Not having any permission is a little bit scary, but the potential to be great is there. Wasteland. We'll lead on Underground Sea past the turn. Let's Vampiric Tutor. Okay, so that resolved. Think it's just supposed to be Ancestral? I'm not really sure. Another Wasteland. We'll play the Underground Sea. We'll play Mox Sapphire. Play Mox Emerald. Pass the turn. In their upkeep, we will Ancestral Recall. They have 5 in hand. Always with the mental missteps. Alright, so we are at 18. Our opponent's at 18 now. Mishra's Bauble. And they look at our top card. Goodbye, Underground Sea. Great spot to draw Mox Opal. Dress Down. We'll play Urza's Saga. And we'll pass. Opponent concedes the match. Okay. Well, we're 1-1, 3 matches left to go. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the play. Yeah, this hand seems terrific. Keep. We'll lead off with a Gitaxian Probe. They're on Dredge. Yawgmoth's Will isn't really a card I wanted here. We'll play the Mox Pearl. Pass the turn. Bizarre Baghdad. Bridge Stinkweed Imp. Shambling Shell. Into a hollow one. I don't think we're going to be winning this game off of the back of Urza's Construct beats. We'll grab Underground Sea. Force of Will. I'll play the Geralf. I think it's going to end up being better than a Construct. They dredge and hit a Narcomoeba and a Creeping Chill. They activate Bazaar of Baghdad. They still have 4 cards in hand. One of which is a Cabal Therapy that they did not discard. Oh, well, they have another Bazaar of Baghdad? That's insane. Okay. We need them to not flip over another Cabal Therapy. They have 2 cards left. I don't know if one of them is the Prized Amalgam or not. I don't know if they can Force of Will. I will Force of Will the Cabal Therapy. And I guess I'll exile the Lorien Revealed in case I draw a blue card next turn. I could have Force of Will back up for my Yawgmoth's Will. They attack. We'll go to 7. We draw top. Make a mana with the Saga. We'll go get Black Lotus. Play the top. We'll cast Yawgmoth's Will. Creates a zombie token. Yawgmoth's Will. We will replay the Black Lotus. And I guess I'll get Taxium Probe. Mystical Tutor. Okay. So we can Mystical Tutor here. Question is, what do we get? Like, Tinker and a Colossus Citadel isn't amazing right now because I have next to no life. Paradoxical Outcome doesn't really have that many targets. I mean, Time Walk's okay, but I don't think it's going to be good enough here. Is it just supposed to be Ancestral Recall? Alright, we'll flop the top. Sacrifice the Black Lotus and we'll draw 3. Play Mox Opal, create another zombie. Play the Saga from the graveyard. We'll play top. Weird, my Magic Online is doing this like weird side-scrolling thing right now. Let's spin the top. Mana Crypt, Paradoxical Outcome. So I could take the Mana Crypt and cast Lorraine Revealed from the graveyard, but I can't do anything else after that. So it seems really dangerous to me. I believe I have to pass the turn. I could attack them, but they have a bridge from below in the graveyard. So that seems really reckless. I'll just pass. For what it's worth, in the spot we're in, Monastery Mentor would not be nearly as good because our opponent would just run us over. My fear here is that 2 Narcomoebas have flying and I'm at 5, which means if they hit the other Creeping Chill that's left, I believe there's 1 left in their deck, I'd be dead. And they hit it. Okay. I am dead to Narcomoebas on board. We can go to game number 2. We'll bring in the Tabernacle, Leyline of the Void, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, Needle, Bluster Storm. We don't want Dress Down. And unfortunately, this isn't really a Geralf matchup, so we're going to board out all of those. You could probably take out the Colossus Citadel because you have the Sphinx. You can probably take out Mental Misstep. We'll try this. I mean, this is a hand. I don't know how good this hand is, but it's a hand. I think it's a hand that just loses. I'm going to mulligan. This is a hand that might win. We will keep. Bottom the Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Leyline of the Void. Play Island and we'll pass. On their upkeep, we'll cast Ancestral Recall. They Force of Will. I will Force of Will back. They have 2 forces. Okay. And Bazaar of Baghdad. So they had a very good 7. They discard another Force of Will. Sure. They have 2 cards remaining in hand. Needle is an insane draw here. We name Bazaar of Baghdad, pass the turn. How they get out of this is Force of Vigor. So we need to find a Flusterstorm before they can find Force of Vigor and a green card. Lorien Revealed. I'm going to play Mana Vault because another blue source means I can hardcast this Lorien Revealed. And there's Fluster. So we really just need to protect Leyline of the Void and Needle now. Our opponent does nothing on their turn. We draw on its Gitaxium Probe. I'm good paying life here. They have nothing, so we'll play Lorien Revealed. Play the Mox Pearl. Pass the turn. They do nothing. I'll take 1 off of my Mana Vault. Time Walk. That's a good one. There's a Saga. And we'll Time Walk. They found the Force of Vigor, but we have Flusterstorm. Get out of here. Game 3. We opened up on Needle, Leyline, and Mox Flusterstorm. This is nuts. This is... I mean, if I could pick a 7 for this matchup, this is pretty close. They activate Bazaar of Baghdad. They play a hollow one. Hollow one. Uh-oh. Fast clock. We draw the Sphinx. Not what I wanted to happen here. Ay. Needle. They misstep. I'm going to Flusterstorm. They have Mindbreak. Okay. Unfortunate. They attack for 4. I'll go to 12. I don't have a lot of time here. Tinker and Sphinx was one of the few ways I could have won this. And now they just have lethal. Holy moly, what a start. And I'm dead. I opened up on an insane hand and it was not good enough. Unfortunate. So now we are 1-2. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Well, let's try to bounce back here. Let's get a match win. We're on the play. Okay. I mean, if our opponent's on like a deck without Force of Will, this hand's really good. So we have turn 1 Geralf and turn 2 Paradoxical Outcome. Mox Jet. Soul Ring, Underground Sea, and Geralf. Geralf eats a Force of Will and a Mental Misstep. Okay, good deal. Mox Pearl, Tundra, Stoneforge Mystic. What? Our opponent finds a Cauldra complete. They pass and we draw Bolas's Citadel. Kind of an awkward draw here. We'll Demonic Tutor. And I believe we want to grab Mana Crypt. We'll play the Mana Crypt. And let's attempt a Paradoxical Outcome for 3. Resolves. Unfortunately, we can't cast the other Paradoxical Outcome because we're all out of blue mana. But we can pass the turn with Force of Will in hand. Wasteland here is brutal. Ouch, now I have no blue mana. And our opponent has a Cauldra complete. Alright, time is running out. I do have 3 basic islands in our deck list today, but I drew one of the 2 copies of Underground Sea instead. There's a Saga. I don't know if that's going to be fast enough here, but it's technically a land. Now they attack for 6, I'll go to 9. Another Urza Saga. Play it and pass. They search out a Surveil land with the Flooded Strand. And they kept the card on top. Caracas. I'm going to create a construct token here. And I don't think I'm going to win this game with the beatdown of construct tokens. So I'm going to attempt to block just to save a little bit of life. They have 3 cards remaining in hand. And now it's our turn to do something meaningful. Oh, we could just draw Time Vault too. Okay, so we'll tap this for mana. Do I just go and get Key here? I think so. I mean, they would need double force to stop me. Play Time Vault. I guess it would have to be Forcible Flusterstorm. They only have 3 cards. And they just concede. Alright. Some sort of blue-white control deck. We want the Needle and the Flusterstorm. We could shave 1 Geralf because we saw Caracas. It's not a card I want a ton of it. And then maybe 1 Mox Opal. Game number 2, we're on the draw. I think I'm willing to try this. Tundra past the turn. Ancestral Recall. I will Force of Will, exiling a Geralf. And they also opened on Force. Okay. We'll play a basic island and pass. Ponder. Into Urza's Saga. Demonic Tutor. I think I'm going to choose to play Saga into Time Walk. Another land. Sheesh. Play the Underground Sea. And we'll pass. Their Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. They have a Wasteland. And we'll make a construct. Play the basic island. Let's try Geralf. And then we'll play Mox Jet, which should create a zombie token. Swords to Plowshares. Okay. And we'll attack for 2. The Urza Saga taps for mana and then searches. They pick up a Soul Ring. White Plume Adventurer. Yeah. They search out an island. They still have 1 colorless floating. 5 cards in hand. We draw a Mana Vault. Not our best draw. We'll play the Demonic Tutor. It might be kind of crazy, but I sort of just want to jam Tinker. Play the Mana Vault. And I'm actually going to play out the Polluted Delta to play around Spell Pierce. We'll play Tinker sacrificing the Mana Vault. They cast a Brainstorm. They've already used 1 Force of Will. So they have 3 Force of Wills and some number of Force of Negation remaining. Tinker back on the stack. It resolves? What? We'll grab Bolas's Citadel, play Mana Crypt. Vampiric Tutor here is insane. We'll cast the Vampiric Tutor holding priority. But this isn't an instant we want to cast. Or is it? Ha 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 ha. And our opponent concedes the match. Alright, we're 2-2 with 1 match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The final round, we're on the play. Lurrus of the Dream Den has been revealed. I don't think we're allowed to keep this hand. We will send it back. Sure, we can try this one. Get rid of an island. We'll play Mox Ruby into Urza's Saga. Pass the turn. The jig is up. Gitaxian Probe. They play Mox Sapphire, Underground Sea, And pass. Okay. Mystical Tutor. We'll play Flooded Strand. I'm going to fetch now once again just to try to play around the Wasteland a little bit. Because if they destroy your land that isn't Urza Saga, then you're down 2 lands, and I don't want that to happen. Alright, the Construct Wars have begun. Another Urza Saga will make a Construct. Let's grab Sensi's Divining Top. We'll play another Urza Saga here. Dress Down. That's unfortunate. Yep. If you're wondering why I didn't top in response, it's because my land did not have the ability to tap for a mana yet, so it was not an option. They cycle a Lorien Revealed. They pick up a Tundra. They put Lurrus to their hand. So that means that I'm not really allowed to play the Saga game anymore, so I need to pivot off of creating constructs into trying to win. And we don't want any of this. I guess I could take the Mana Vault. Saga goes to the second chapter. Play the Mana Vault. And now I'm going to cycle the Lorien Revealed. Pick up Underground Sea. I mean, this is a big swing, and our opponents had a lot of time to find Force of Will. But I think I'm supposed to cast the Outcome here. And they have Spell Pierce. I cannot pay. We'll draw a random card off the top. It's a Soul Ring. I'm going to just pass. They find Black Lotus. Lurrus of the Dream Den. Surprise, surprise. Now they can replay Black Lotus if they so choose. They do. And a Brainstorm. Wasteland. Destroys my Saga. That's fine. I'm not planning on making any constructs anyway. They still have 4 cards. We'll take 1 off the Mana Vault. Redraw the top. Play Urza Saga. Play Soul Ring. And play the top. Spin top. Flusterstorm's an interesting one. So next turn, I should be able to tinker with Flusterstorm backup, but they have a Black Lotus. So they have all the mana in the world. They make 3 black, they replay the Black Lotus. Yawgmoth's Will, yeah. They should know my last card already. Lorien Revealed. Sure. Mox Ruby. They still have 7 cards in hand. They replay Brainstorm. Tolarian Academy. So this Flusterstorm is definitely not going to be enough anymore. We'll take 1 off of the Mana Vault. Draw the Flusterstorm. Saga goes to the second chapter. Mystical Tutor. Oh, I realized I just messed up. So I needed to tutor on the end step because now I don't have 3 blue. I didn't because I was afraid of Spell Pierce or something else tripping me up, but it was just a silly mistake. I shouldn't have done it. Not that I think my Tinker plus Flusterstorm would have worked, but I'm probably just deterministically dead now. Alright. I'm just going to cast Tinker. I'm not winning this game anyway. Let's just hurry up and lose and go to the next one. We'll sacrifice the Mana Vault. So they are going to hardcast a Force here. So if I had done things correctly, I could have Flusterstormed a hardcast Force of Will, but they would have needed to not have anything else. So I guess maybe if I had played correctly, there's a world in which I get to resolve my Tinker, but I didn't play correctly, and we get a loss because of it. Okay, so I want the extra Flusterstorm. Probably want that Needle. The Long Goodbye. We'll take out Mystical Tutor, 1 Mox Opal, and a Geralf. Let's try this. Dress Down is still pretty good. We saw that they're on Urza's Saga, but also they're Esper, so they could have Lavinias or Orchid Masters. Like, there's cards they could have. Like, I think leaving in Dress Down over a Geralf is just okay. Game 2, we are on the play. Sure. So if they did not open a Force, this hand is threatening a very fast win. We'll play Urza's Saga. I actually should have played the Mox Pearl first. But I guess this way, maybe my Time Vault could resolve if they were silly enough to force a Mox Pearl. And Time Vault resolves. Pass. So how they interact at this point is Wasteland. Black Lotus. They play Soul Ring. Tolarian Academy. Stony Silence. Wow. Okay, well that made my start not very good. Into Ancestral Recall? Come on. What are you doing to me over there? Jeez. So we draw another Geralf. We have to pass. Stony Silence was not on my bingo card for things our opponent would play to stop me. Into Wasteland. Yep. Play the island, pass the turn. So you could leave up Vampiric Tutor, but I'd rather save this for later and try to get a Geralf to resolve in the meantime. They have Time Walk and 2 Time Vault, but they do have a Stony Silence. So they would have to answer their own Stony Silence for that to be useful. Underground Sea, and we'll play Geralf the Fleshwright. Our opponent plays Force of Will, exiling a Spell Pierce. Yeah. They're not making a construct. Interesting. They find their own copy of Pithing Needle. And they name Lorien Revealed. Okay. Treasure Cruise. Blusterstorm. I still think I'm just going to play a Geralf here. Hey, it resolved. Let's go. So, assuming that we don't lose the game and the Geralf is on the table when we get to untap, my plan is to upkeep Vampiric Tutor for Ancestral Recall. Soul Guide Lantern, I do not care about that. Their Tolarian Academy now taps for 5 mana. I'm sorry, 4 mana. And our upkeep lets Vampiric Tutor. I think I'm still supposed to grab the Ancestral. Let's attempt the Ancestral Recall. They tap for 4 mana into a Spell Pierce. I will now Flusterstorm. They will all go at Spell Pierce. Ancestral Recall. And it resolved. Wow. Okay. Get in there. Geralf doing some damage. Urza's Saga is now in the 2nd chapter. Another Urza's Saga. Another Lorien Revealed. Okay. Let's play Soul Ring. And Needle. They create a construct. It is a 5/5. We're going to name Urza's Saga. And there's no reason for us to attack here, so I'm just going to pass the turn. They search out a Mishra's Bauble with the Urza's Saga that depleted. Tolarian Academy just doing a lot of work for them here. Manifold Key, sure. They Gitaxian Probe, they see that I have nothing. They still have 4 cards in hand, so I think their big choke point here is that they haven't found any white mana yet. Urborg. So they could put Lurrus into their hand and then play Lurrus. Oh, that's spicy. They're playing the Insatiable Avarice, I believe it's pronounced. I don't know. But not a card I expected to see here. Mana Vault. I believe I'm just supposed to pass. They found a Mox Pearl, I believe, with that Urza's Saga. It happened pretty quickly. They play an Underground Sea. They do put Lurrus to their hand, and now they're going to play it. And then an Orcish Bowmasters. And now they're going to attack with the Construct token. I should throw a zombie in front. I'm not going to crack back with enough damage here to really make a difference. Mox Sapphire. So I can make another zombie. Okay, that's all I can do here, and then we'll pass. They attack again for 9. You know what? I'll take 9. Maybe I should have took 9 last turn. Because maybe if I had another zombie token in play, they wouldn't consider attacking. Manifold Key. Another Orcish Bowmasters. They attack again, we'll block. Paradoxical Outcome is not a card I want here. We are slowly, miserably losing this game. They attack again, we'll throw a 2/2 zombie in front. We have found Dress Down. It answers the Construct token. They play Wasteland. We will attempt to flash in a Dress Down. They have Force of Negation. We'll make some blocks. Maybe I wasn't supposed to block the Bowmasters, because now their Orc army gets bigger. Yeah, that was just dumb. I should have just taken the 1 damage. I'm probably not winning this game anyway, but that was a bad block. Alright, I've seen enough. I'm going to pick this up. So, unfortunately, we went 2 and 3 in this league. My thoughts on Geralf. It is a good card. It is not bad. But I wonder if Vintage has moved past the point of needing dedicated win conditions. When you have Urza's Saga Beatdown and Bolas's Citadel, which is a win condition when you pair it with Yawgmoth's Will, maybe you just don't need dedicated win conditions in 2024 like you did in 2020. I keep this old PO list from when I played a ton of Vintage over the lockdown and the pandemic. And Monastery Mentor, I mean, I won a lot with this deck list. And Monastery Mentor was really the heart and soul of the deck. And, you know, maybe we're just past the point of needing a dedicated win condition. Maybe Urza's Saga tokens with infinite turns is just good enough. This is Dimir Lurrus, by the way. I clicked on the wrong deck list. So maybe we don't need Geralf anymore. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe also 4 just isn't the right number. Maybe 1 or 2 is correct. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and as always, keep storming. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and after you do that, click that join button. It contains all of our membership information, such as access to our members exclusive Discord, members exclusive videos, and the best perk in my opinion, you can watch all of our videos early, 1 to 2 weeks in advance. That way you're always up to date on the latest and greatest content.